John Phillips, attorney for Joe Exotic. Obviously, this is just paper Joe Exotic. The real Joe is in Butner Federal Prison. Feel free to send him letters. He will respond. The first question I usually get is, how's Joe doing? Joe, as we know, dealt with prostate cancer. He has come through prostate cancer. It is in remission, but he is having issues with his immune system after cancer treatment. That's part of the deal. And so his immune system is terrible. He's been throwing up. He's just not doing great health-wise, but he's surviving. He's patient. He understands that justice is unfairly slow. That always leads to question number 2. When's he going to get out? Well, that's a good question. Justice in these post-conviction relief cases often takes 6 to 8 years. Our firm has been on this case for about 1.5 years. Before that, there wasn't very much done. The next pressing thing, next Thursday, there's an oral argument, meaning the lawyers get up and argue our briefs in Denver, Colorado, before the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. Brilliant lawyer Molly Palmer is handling that oral argument. Amy Hanna, I'll be there in Denver, Colorado. That oral argument will be live cast, so you'll be able to definitely hear it, I think see it, and we'll provide a link for that next Thursday. I believe it's 8:30 local time in Denver, Colorado. The next thing people ask about is, what about the motion for new trial? Well, the motion for new trial cannot be heard until the appellate issues have been resolved. There's got to be a resentencing. So we're at the then spot where the motion for new trial and an evidentiary hearing can be called up and heard. We filed a motion for new trial that you need to read if you haven't read it. It's 60 plus pages, hundreds of pages of evidence, hundreds of recorded phone calls and affidavits that show Joe was set up. So the criminal case is waiting for the oral argument next week and then the motion for new trial. That actually gave us time to handle some of Joe's civil cases. So yesterday we filed a federal lawsuit in Florida against Vince Johnson and BMG and other defendants. Vince Johnson was a collaborator with Joe on those wonderful hit songs he did, like Here Kitty Kitty and I Saw a Tiger. I personally love I Saw a Tiger the most. And Joe's collaborator, Vince Johnson, was supposed to be a confidential co-collaborator. But as soon as Tiger King was over, not only did he try to profit off those songs, but he breached the confidentiality agreement. So we filed a federal lawsuit against him and BMG, and we're going to try to claw back all those profits and enforce the confidentiality that is part of the agreement. Lawsuit number 2, which is sitting right there on my desk, is a lawsuit against Peacock, Kate McKinnon, Joe versus Carol. Essentially, that travesty of a television show portrays Joe as evil, portrays Carol as a hero, portrays Jeff Lowe as not involved at all in the setup of Carol Baskin. It's just a work of fiction operating as a work of truth, and we have a lawsuit coming. The third lawsuit will probably be one against FYE for the unlicensed merchandise, such as, if you pan over there, the Ferocious Flakes and the socks and all that stuff that even bore Jeff Lowe's logo, that should have never been produced and was produced without Joe's consent. So, oral argument next week. Tune in. Keep sending Joe's letters and continue to support him and send prayers. Third, be on the lookout for some civil lawsuits, including the one we filed yesterday against Vince Johnson and BMG. And thank you for supporting Joe, for supporting me, and free Joe Exotic.